This is a Windows Phone 7 game review of Enigmo, which is available in the marketplace for $2.99 and is an Xbox Live game title. Enigmo is a game that used to be on Mac OS X, and also it was ported to the iOS, and finally it was ported to Windows Phone 7 here. And it is 3D, but it's not the new 3D version Enigmo 2, which is found on the iPhone. That one you can actually play around in 3 dimensions. This is still 2D, it just has the 3D look to it. So that's a bit disappointing that we're getting a game that was released in 2008 and they just simply ported it to Windows Phone 7. So that's a bit lame. But the whole point of this game is water's being released there, and you have to get that water into the water bucket down here. And you need to get the gas ones. You need to actually turn the gas on. So you have to use a combination of different elements here. Like you can use these little drum things to bounce off water. You can use cannons here to shoot the water at faster speeds. And then just rotate it if we can. There we go. And so that cannon can shoot it out. And then you need to aim it towards something. Like here, we need to try to get it through that little hole. So there's a bunch of different elements in the game. And the sound effects, they do get pretty repetitive with just that water noise constantly going off, but it still works. And what we can do here is we can put this little sponge thing here, which then starts to drip water. And then we can have that shoot on the little green switch. Hopefully we can. If we just set another drum here, we can point that there. And now when we're hitting that switch there, it'll start turning on the green, which is the gas here. But as you see, the green's getting stopped by this little yellow gate. So that means we have to get something through here, through that gate, in order to unlock it. So what we should do is we should really pass the water up through here and send it up over through. So the game has plenty of really complicated puzzles that'll really make you think. This is only level 21 and it's already pretty hard. So your lasting value should be at about at least 2.5 hours. Like if you're really good, you could possibly beat it in 2.5 hours, but realistically, I think this game will last you about 4 or 5 hours. Could last even longer if you're really bad at it, which it takes me a long time to figure these out. They're pretty tough. Yet they're fun. And once you do figure them out, it's pretty satisfying. Like here we go. Almost got this one, and we can just put another sponge right there. And that water's filling in. But then somehow we need to get this one here. We possibly might be able to make the gas roll in, but probably not. Probably just won't reach, yep. So you're always constantly having to find better ways to do things and trying to optimize the whole game. And that's what makes it really fun. Right now I can't think of a single thing more to do. But one of the disadvantages about this game is when you leave it and then you try to come back to it, it won't have your game saved in your mid-level progress. It restarts the level. Some of these, as you get to the higher levels, they're so tough to figure out that you might want to come back and try it again in mid-progress, but then you can't. So that's really annoying. It does keep individual saves though, so you can have different games going on at once. You can have up to 6 games here, I think. And if we exit this one, then you can resume different games. And you can have those different save spots. But still, there's no level selector, which is kind of annoying, because then if you want to replay levels, you have to start from the very beginning. It'd be really great if they just had a level selector, and then you could just pick which level you didn't do the best on, and you can go for a higher score there. So the game has a lot of disadvantages here. And really, when the iPhone has Enigmo 2, and we're just getting Enigmo, that's really lame. Especially because the Enigmo 2 version is in 3D, and it's overall just a lot more interesting. There are the achievements, which are pretty fun to get here for Windows Phone 7, but not sure that can really justify the whole fact that we're getting a game that's 3 years old. Otherwise, the controls work perfectly fine, unlike what some people say. Panning around the environment with multi-touch works perfectly, and setting up the little elements here is pretty easy to do. I'm not sure why people in the marketplace said that the controls were terrible. That doesn't make any sense. They're probably just trying to bash the game just because they're upset that we didn't get anything like Hydro Thunder Go or whatever that game is. And yeah, the Xbox Live games have sucked recently, but still, bash it on things that actually are bad about it, not about the controls, which are fine. Or maybe the controls aren't as good on like a Samsung Focus possibly. That could happen just because of the hardware difference. But on the HD7, the controls work perfectly here, and they are pretty easy to use. So overall, it's not the greatest game ever just because it's old, but it is really challenging. And if you're looking for a really challenging puzzle game, then this is a really awesome choice. And the visuals are pretty cool. Sound effects, they get a bit annoying, but they're effective and they work. And it's definitely a game to check out if you love puzzlers. You can find Enigmo in the marketplace for $2.99.